it's a full-time job, but it's enjoyable. It's what my family, oh, look at the rattlesnake. You want to get a picture of him. We don't kill rattlesnakes in the pasture. Anyway, that's a big snake.
Take a ride around the Punta del Monte Ranch in way South Texas with Danny Butler, and you start to get an idea of his appreciation for all things wild.
We have a lot of whitetail, a lot of turkey, lots of quail. In my opinion, it's better habitat now than it was 150 years ago.
The habitat Danny is talking about is 23,000 brushy acres, currently owned and operated by 3 generations of his family. The Butlers and their ancestors have been at this a long time.
Going on 160 years, which is getting rarer and rarer in Texas, that lands pass through generations, and stay together.
The Butlers are the owners of the H. Yturria Land and Cattle Company. Their land is part of a ranch founded by Francisco Yturria in 1860 that at one time encompassed 150,000 acres spread across 5 counties.
It seems harder to keep it than it was for the original folks to get it.
In order for the Butlers to be able to keep their land together, they've had to make some changes to the way the ranches operate. Today, they are less reliant on cattle and more focused on wildlife.
We put this water project back in the brush primarily for the benefit of the ocelot.
To make the habitat work for wildlife, the Butlers have spent a lot of time and money improving water resources on their ranches. Using a series of wind and solar-powered wells, along with a network of pipes, the Butlers have been able to spread water features across the landscape.
All 3 ranches, we're proud to say, are all watered in every direction, 1.5 miles, north to south, east to west.
What we're doing right now here is we're roller chopping this pasture here. It makes an indentation in the soil, and that helps gather our rainfall.
Roller chopping brings it back down and creates a big open savanna again, full of a number of forbs and grasses, and makes those areas all that much more productive.
One of the most successful native wildlife projects the Butlers have done is to translocate turkey from one property to another.
Turkey relocation is always a gamble. If the habitat isn't perfect for turkeys in the release site, they're liable to move, liable to take off. The fact that those turkeys stayed indicated that the habitat was in good shape and they had all the necessary requirements for turkeys in that area.
Scimitar oryx just about extinct in their native land, and Danny's got a really nice herd of them doing really well here.
While the native wildlife hunts make up the bulk of the ranch income, the Butlers have expanded into exotics. Nilgai from Asia were first brought into the area in the 1930s by the owners of the nearby King Ranch, and since that time, exotic animals have become more common across the U.S.
If you don't diversify, get other sources of income coming in from the property you've got, eventually you won't have the property. Well, Susie's certainly doing nicely.
Oh yeah, she's happy with people, you know.
It has been able to be passed down from generation to generation, and it puts a lot on my shoulders to want to do the same.
You betcha.
And that ends up being the bottom line for the owners of the H. Yturria Land and Cattle Company. They'd like to see this land flourish. They'd like to see the wildlife healthy. And in the end, they'd like for another generation to continue to keep this land together, and all in the family.
It's my hope that my sister and I have the ability to pass this land on to our children. I can only hope that they will continue to manage this land as we are today.